Hello and welcome back. I'm DMAC and today we're going to look at picking this absolute beast of a padlock, and this of course is a Rotalock. Really heavy, this one. You could just kind of get a sense of it there. Probably the heaviest padlock I own. And of course it's got the spinning body design. And I think that's because if it's attached to something and someone were to try and twist the padlock off to put stress on the shackle or on the hasp, you wouldn't be able to do it because the padlock body just spins. Absolutely smooth action, that, which makes it a nice high security padlock. And this one has it a Mul-T-Lock MT5 core. When I actually got this padlock, it came to me keyless. And it had an ASA twin combi core in, and I tried picking it, but I really couldn't pick it. So I sent it to my mate Rain in the Netherlands, and he made short work of it. And he was able to send the padlock back to me disassembled. So I took the ASA twin combi core out. And this one accepts just pretty much standard Euro bodies, so I could put this one in, although that's a very low security cylinder. And I thought what I'd do, I'd recently acquired the this MT5. I popped that in and it seemed to sit really well. So now we've got a high security core in a high security padlock, and it's one that I can pick, so it's something that I can get some use out of. If you're not familiar with the MT5, it is a dimple lock, but it's certainly got some weirdness on the key. First of all, we've got this little pin just up the end there. You just see it kind of sticks out on that side, and then if I push it through, like that, it sticks out on the other side. Can you see that? Yeah, just see it there. And that's called the alpha pin, so it's just in the 6th position. It sounds worse than it is. All it means is that at some point we just got to go in with a hook there and just reach down the back and feel it binding and just give it a little click. And the rest of the pins are pin in pin. So again, if we look at the key there, you can see we've got 2 circles. So the outer circle is the outer pin, and then the inner one is the inner pin. So they're set at different heights. So instead of having something normal like that, where you've got this one's got 5 key pins and 5 driver pins. So you've only got to pick essentially 5 pins. This one has got the inners and the outers, so you've got to pick all the outers, we've got to pick all the inners separately, and of course we've got to deal with that alpha pin. So anyway, let's get them in the vise and yeah, see how we get on. So we've got them clamped up in the vise there, and as you can see, the body can spin and the core doesn't, and that's because I've got the shackle trapped in the vise jaws, and that holds it where I want it. So first off, let's just get this just double check the key's working okay. So there you go, that opens him up and that locks him up. Next, I think I'll just try and lock this focus for you. I'll go in with this weird kind of tension wrench I've got in a Chinese set that I don't use too often, but it seems to do really well in this lock. First off, I'm just going to go in and tickle these pins a little bit. I find that the alpha pin in this lock doesn't set first, and I have to just give those pins a little bit of a tickle. And I'll go down the back, feel for that pin, set him. So that's the alpha pin set. Now I can work on these outer pins. Nice light tension at the moment. Just feeling for any binders and giving them a little click. I'm going to use this flag as well. It's just a little bit more pointy, so we can reach those inner pins, go down the stack, feeling for anything there that needs setting. So what we're looking for is to set those outer pins, and when we do, we should drop in to a little bit of a false set. A little bit of a click there on 3. And that should tell us it's time to pick the inner pins. Nice click there on 1. I've got a tiny movement on the core, just felt it through my index finger on the tension wrench. We'll just go back and feel those inner pins. Nothing there as yet. Come on, where are you? Where are you? Got a small clicker there, I think that was 3. Click on number 1 on the outer, and we've got a little bit of movement. I've got to say that's setting this one up so that you've got a good view of this recessed keyway. It means that the camera is right under my nose. Makes it a lot harder to see, a lot harder to pick, obviously. And there we go, we just dropped into a little bit of a full set there. Don't know if you saw that. And that means we're probably on those inner pins. So we'll run down the stack. Just feel it out. I think that's 4 binding. And there we go. Looks like we got him open. There we go. So you can see there that the core's turned. Ball bearings are retracted, and we got him open. So let's get the autofocus off, clear a bit of space so we can get him gutted and see what's inside. Excuse the camera wobble. I'm going to lock him back up, and he won't lock up at the moment because the driver pins there have come into the keyway. So if I press them down and turn, we should, there we go. So that's locked back up now. So we just need to try and get it gutted. Now to get to the core, there's a pin that sits in here which retains the shackle. Not sure where that's gone. I've taken that out just for the ease of the video, because you take this grub screw out and then you have to bang it several times to get the rod to retract. You just see that little hole there. That's what holds the shackle in ordinarily. So we've got a couple of bolts down there. So first job's disassembling the padlock and then disassembling the core. I'm going to get a pinning tray down so that we can put everything tidily on there. There we go. So that's the faceplate for the padlock. and that's the core itself in there. Lots of grease in here to keep everything moving nicely. And what have we got on here? We've got a little C-clip. So we'll get the key, give him a turn. I'm going to use a shim on this because I can't remember what's inside. I don't want pins to lift out everywhere. Kind of snags on there because you've got the pin in pins, I think. Probably take me longer to shim the lock than it will to actually pick the thing. I'm not having much luck today. I thought this would be a nice tidy job, but sometimes it's like that, isn't it? All right, bending back. Let's try again for the 15th time. There we go. You can just see the shim just poking out there, so that tells me that he's all the way through and where he should be. So we'll grab the follower and give this plug a push. There we go. So you can just see there the pin in pins, I think, as I lift him up. See him all kind of moving independently. If I take this key all the way out, grab this flag. See there in the one, you can see the outer being lifted, and if I'm careful, there you go, that's the inner being lifted. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I like that, and you can just see the alpha pin in the back. Oh, just lost something there. That was just a ball bearing. I think that would, yeah, the ball bearing sits in there with a little spring just to locate that plug. So there's the pins. Let's get these out and we can have a look at them properly. I'll just give these a quickly arrange them. And let's have a look up top. I'll just remove my mangled shim there and see what we got. So you can just see there, we've got the inner pin from the driver and the outer pin there. Oh, almost lost him. Went flying, but I did manage to catch him. Same again on 2. Just see that little spring there from the inner pin. And again on 3. And 4. I think for 5 I'll just go in the back. That'll be a bit easier. So that's the pin that sits above the alpha pin, which is just pretty standard. And that's number 4 again with a pin in pin. And some very springy springs, they just really want to jump out. Let's just dump those down there for a minute. So you can see there all the outer key pins there. They've got the little alpha pin just there, which sits in the back, inner key pins. And the drivers are, they're fixed. So whereas the key pins, the pin in pins are separate, with the drivers, that inner pin is retained in there. We just got a little spring in there, and it looks like there's a little kind of spooled section on the tip of that. So there we go, that was my video for today on this beautiful Rotalock with bits falling out of it all over the place, which I've got to figure out how to put together. I just noticed we've got, does it look like, I think there's a little bit of overmilling on the plug actually, just a sort of little lip there, probably to sort of to catch those spooled edges, I think, on the driver pins. Anyways, that's my pick and gut of this lovely Rotalock with this Mul-T-Lock MT5 core. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.